contrast the cool, calm, and collected of from the CRE Finance Council with the desperation that is noted in this New York Times article. It says return to office reaches desperation phase. Just to make sure we're not giving the wrong impression here, there are people who are expressing themselves a little more passionately than those bankers. My favorite account, though, now this is just to preface this Office article, is, and this is like the anecdotal account of back to office motivations, is not the one that says that middle managers are calling people back just because they want to boss around people in person, although that is often cited. I think equally speculative and spicy, maybe a little conspiratorial.
You return to this office, Matt?
Yeah, because it looks so friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And all of those have names.
They probably have a daycare in there. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Salesforce has character names too. And now any employees from Salesforce will probably know of Brandy the Fox, who is a marketing.
Yeah.
And I don't know any other ones, but
we don't have any. We don't have any mascots at Great Capital.
I know.
We've talked about it.
I feel like having 5 different
that's a lot.
Is too many.
That's to me. If you have one, I get it. And the annual mascot, like as corny as it is, it's very effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's very effective. So I think I've thought about for Great Cap. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I think they have a gray wolf. Because I envision those really cool shirts with and I bought a couple of them, but I want to have the Great Capital version of like the wolves like howling at the moon.
Yeah.
And then also we can be the wolf pack.
Ooh, that's good.
And I tested out at Maintenance Mania. Well, I'm sorry to distract. At Maintenance Mania, it's great. It's like wolf pack, and
then you have a howl. Yeah, I've done that.
Everyone to howl.
I've done that independently with my boys. It's really fun. It does build. There's something to a good old howl.
Yeah. So beyond Salesforce, man, if we could devolve any quicker, I don't know if it'd be possible. We go from work from home, talk about Salesforce, what their office looks like, the characters, branding, and then we're talking about.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Back to my point.
This is my fault.
No. I will indulge this because I'm having fun too. But there is a take on the decline. People calling back to office. They are motivated perhaps because there is a class of office real estate owners that are exerting their influence through all available channels to get American workers anywhere and everywhere back to the office, because if they don't, they stand to lose a whole lot of money. That's a little bit more convincing, or at least, that's like a powerful force, but I still think both of those arguments aren't really getting at the real reason why people want to move people back to the office. And I spoke with you a little bit before this. I've been having trouble finding specific studies that tout and really nail down like numerically the benefits of going back to the office. Some of them there are some studies that go either way that say working from home is more productive. A lot of them, most of them actually say that working from home is more productive. But I do think that there are something. There's a factor of being in person and sharing ideas. And I think that really what's interesting is if this idea that we want people in the workplace in person follows huge amount of research into like urban life and like shared proximity as a catalyst for innovation. And like, just to add another source here, there was an article published in the Washington Post this week that talked about the decline of downtown and how, the office is caught up in a lot of the benefits of downtown life, I think, are shared by office life. And I haven't just seen enough of a study that puts a stamp. You Google this and you will find a lot of studies on that are just like, no, work from home is more productive. And you have to do some digging. I haven't dug far and deep enough, but I've dug deep enough to know that the vast majority of studies are kind of from the standpoint of let's give to this work from home impulse.
I think you're just pushing for work from home more.
I see. That's the thing is I've got paragraphs here.
I think this whole article. I think it's all. It's all conspiracy.
Well,
the workers.
On your point, I don't think that it is.
Workers of the world unite.
That's right.
Is that what's going on here?
Home office, remote workers of the world. No, because I do think that there is benefits to going in the office, and I think that we all know, we're aware because we go to the office. I think it would help to get away from the idea that it's a zero-sum game, either work from home or the office. I'd love to see something that looks on things like, okay, for instance, video meetings are a pain and they're annoying. So how valuable is that to a company? How much of a price could you put on that? On like the muting and the unmuting?
Meetings in general, is a big, and time and
exactly like
sync.
where you're in. But I think when you add that layer of kind of you're mediating it through the video technology where you have to unmute and mute and like you're interrupting someone accidentally and
well and Matt. I'm just thinking through again our experience, and we've worked on like a lot of projects together, whether it's like decks or whatever it is, and like there's a lot that can be done like remotely, and like you're working on some stuff, and I can see you doing it, and I'm working on some stuff.
Yeah,
but like we also will get to a point where like we just need to get together and just sit down and go through this.
Yeah,
and it usually takes place in like we could do it virtually, but like it often is like let's just sit down and go through it. And
this is personally, I am work harder when there are people in the room. I think there's something about accountability, and I think that there is just like it is like a more motivating force than if you're calling them on the phone. I remember there was an old job that I had, and the guy said, "Yeah, I could call him, but if you want to get something done, you go there in person." And we walked.
So we're here. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna pop off, then move to something. It's like we're gonna end this meeting, and I'm gonna watch what you're gonna do.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. That the times when someone wants something done in the office, when I get it done is when they stand in the office until I'm done.
Yeah.
And guess what? It helps. It is like there is this kind of unspoken obligation and accountability.
And I and again, it's maybe stylistic because you could probably do all that virtually. I could ping you on Teams or Slack or whatever every 5 minutes. Hey, give me a status update. Give me a status, or hey, provide a status update every X amount of minutes. I think that sucks a lot more than just being like, hey, I'm gonna be over here, and then I'll just walk over and
exactly to have that.
I'm not gonna say you're good, like,
and you can quantify the amount of time to ping that person, to them to respond. And there's that buffer, and there, you can put a lot of money on that, I think. Yeah. And so I'd love to see, where that goes. But
it is so personal, and especially where you live and what your family and or just home situation is. But yeah, I think, I don't know if the surveys, I think we probably work from the office more than the average. Yeah. I don't even put us in the same list as Amazon working 3 days a week or.
Yeah. The average that I saw, it does seem like, 2 days at home or like there's something like that. And that seems so high.
And then so combining, okay, this isn't what the article's about, but combine this with the 4-day work week. So you get one. So
gosh, no, I think one of those 4 days.
Do you have to pick? Do you have to pick?
Yeah, I know.
Because it's like, oh, we're going to do hybrid schedule, 3 days in the office, 2 at home or whatever it is. But then also we're just going to remove one of those days entirely. Does the day from home get removed or the day at the office get removed?
Yeah.
Why not 3 days? What 3-day work weeks?
And one of the data points that I did notice was the people that are hybrid work are a little, perhaps even more dissatisfied, have a little bit more trouble than the people that are all office or all work from home. Because think about it, which is interesting because I've heard the anecdote is, well, hybrid's the solution. We all agree that it's some hybrid, it's some flexibility, but you're saying that data is showing that those are the most. And I think that happy folks. I think it's the people, it's like the worst of both worlds, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's the inconsistency. And I think that the problem with, at least from my mind, the problem with hybrid work is coordination. Like ideally, I want all the people that are going to be in this meeting to be here at the same time. But if they all have different hybrid schedules, then you're always going to be on a different meeting, even if you're in person.
It is nice to kind of know what you're going to get when you come to the office. Of like, all right, most people are going to be here, and one person's out on doing. You expect that 1 or 2 people are out doing things, but it's always a little strange when if I get to the office and it's one of those days that not necessarily people are working from home, but like people are just like out at properties or wherever. I'm like, what's going? The energy is just different. There was a video that went viral. Then it was on TikTok, and then I think it got put some articles about this this girl. I think she's in New York City, coming back to the office. And she was like, "Oh, so many people are here." And she went basically around the office and like all these things we spend money on. And it's like, well, there's no reason for me to be here. If you're the only one, there is no reason for you to be there. Yeah. Like if it's just you and maybe one other person, you're in different departments, like, there's no point in that. But man, when everyone's here, shit's getting done usually.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, like, are there just distractions that is caused? Because then like, the Nerf guns get out or there's some discussion about whatever. And it's like, hey guys, all right. I don't say get back to work that often, do I?
No.
I just
ring a bell.
I ring a bell. No, yeah. I just turn around. I'm like, I just
like a parental look, like a glare,
Yeah,
That-
yeah, a lot of glares, a lot of
but
glares.
but that ties into it though. Those little interactions, I think that's one of the things that I have heard cited as like these serendipitous interactions and exchange of ideas cannot happen with such frequency or value if you're doing it over Zoom or Slack or something that just takes so much friction.
And from you have a family at home also. I don't know. I like the idea of being in two different places. Like if I'm working from home, I would like to at least every once in a while, like if I work from home exclusively. And before, we were Great Capital got to where it was, we didn't have an office. I worked from home, or I would work from, the coffee shop or wherever. But like, you kind of need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a place like this is where like to go and do work.
Oh yeah.
And I can do that. I can do this here. I can be around the people that are also doing that thing. And it's hopefully a decent environment to be in.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, if I need to be at home, a tree fell on my house yesterday.
Yeah.
I have to go home.
Yeah.
And, and that thing that happened. And then, but I'm like, well, there's only so much I can do here because literally I have the tree company come and all this stuff. So it's like, well, I'm still do some work. It's all good. I think options, and not every business, not every person's the same. The way people work, the way people focus and
manage. I think that that totally nails it.